Well, jeepers! You're listening to Smash or Pass.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another interview on the JayBee and Milly channel. I am JayBee and joining me as always is Milly.
Hi.
And we have Rhianna.
Hi.
And joining us as our incredibly special guest today is Mr Ronnie Schell.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It's an absolute honor to be able to speak with you today. Kicking off with, I guess, the start of your career, which we understand started in 1958 or approximately then with Harbour Command. But do you know what kind of led you up to the acting business and getting into acting?
Well, I was always sort of a show-off in class. In fact, I used to get expelled a lot for being a show-off in ruining my teachers' lessons. So after a while, I thought, well, I might as well make a career out of this. So I would, still do it. I would jump out the windows during class and make silliness, some of which I can't even tell you. But so that's what got me into it. And Harbour Command was my first actual show. And then I did a show called You Bet Your Life with Groucho Marx. I think they still show the reruns. And I was on that. And I won $600, and I guess it's the secret word, table. So that started it. And then I went from there to nightclubs and comedy. I worked in Las Vegas for 50 years, off and on. So I got to know most of the entertainers. In those days, when I think I started in 1961. In those days, a comedian would be hired to open for a big star. And so I was hired to many times to work for people like Tony Bennett, Engelbert Humperdinck, fine Englishman, and Glenn Campbell. And I opened for the only show that Carol Burnett ever did in Las Vegas at Caesar's Palace. So I had quite a lot of experience over those years and remember them well.
Wow, that was incredible. And I mean, you've done such a variety of things. I know growing up, we were so familiar with your voiceover work, but you've got a lot of like live action credits as well. How does preparing for all these different things take place? How does, you preparing for a voiceover role compared to a live action one?
You know the truth? You don't prepare for the voiceovers. I don't know any actor who said, well, I got to go home, learn my lines. I'm doing a voiceover tomorrow. No, you go in and you do it then. And they've got a director there. You do it line by line. And if he doesn't think that you're doing it well, he'll stop you and say, do it again with more feeling or something. So I never had to rehearse for voiceovers. On the other hand, when I do, in person, public appearances, I would have to learn my lines the night before.
That's really interesting. I know we've spoken to quite a few voiceover actors, and they definitely say that they have so much fun when they get into recording booth to see the lines and take on the characters and mess around with the voices. And I guess touching on your role as Freako in Scooby Doo Meets the Boo Brothers, which is such an iconic film and we absolutely love it. The Boo Brothers appear to pay homage to the Three Stooges. And was this something that was deliberate in your performance of the character?
I don't remember. I'll be honest with you. I could say, well, I did 2 months on this. I just went in and did it. And they asked me, how do you think this character would react? And I came up with the right voice for them. So that's how I got it. And that's how I got a lot of the roles that I got on voiceovers. I loved voiceovers. That was the easiest thing to do because you don't have to dress up. You don't have to comb your hair, and just go in and you do it and you leave. Of course, now they have this, what do they call this? Zoom. Now you have Zoom. You got to sort of prepare yourself.
I mean, that is true. But I guess in terms of like the process for being cast in some of these things, in terms of like the Boo Brothers movie, how familiar were you with something like Scooby Doo? Was that something that you'd grown up with or that you'd watched prior to being cast in the Boo Brothers movie?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't have much experience in these various characters. They told me what it would be like for me to be that character, and touched on my voice, and then I just do it. And fortunately, it's what they wanted. So I was very lucky to get a lot of those. At one time I had 150 characters that I was doing on voiceovers.
Wow. Gosh.
Paid the
And-
rent.
And I mean, I was just kind of what it was like to record at the time of Boo Brothers, because I know now, you know, for recording some of the most recent Scooby movies, especially during the, you know, the pandemic and everything, you know, some of the people have just had home studios set up and they almost record the footage themselves. But you were, you know, working alongside Rob Paulson and Jerry Houser. So were you all in like a studio together at the time?
Well, coincidentally, you mentioned Jerry Houser.
Yeah.
I had a softball team, big sport in California, and he was my left fielder. So we were friends.
Oh.
So, and I knew most of the guys I worked with, like Harvey Korman and Tim Conway and people like that. And so it was like just being with a bunch of the guys and the gals and doing the thing.
Oh wow, that's so incredible. I know a lot of, you know, voice actors have said that they really do kind of miss being able to go back into the studio and interact with people in the same way. So hopefully it's something that, you know, starts to become a lot more frequent again. And so can I ask, in regards to like the script of Boo Brothers, you know, as you know, you've performed in some amazing comedy venues and the script for Boo Brothers was just so amusing. Was there much, you know, space for improvisation? Did you get to kind of adapt it to kind of fit your, like, you know, your humor and all that kind of thing? Or was it very much kind of word by word already kind of created?
According to the director. Some directors would go line for line and you can't vary it. Other would say, play with it a little bit, add a little something here and there. And of course, that what I preferred, to play with it. And so to answer your question, it was according to the director. And usually the director allowed you some freedom to ad lib a little bit.
Oh, that's brilliant. And shortly after the Boo Brothers movie, you returned to the world of Scooby as Colonel Calloway in the Ghoul School movie, which is another much loved movie.
What was the movie?
The Ghoul School.
Oh yeah, of course, go ahead.
Do you happen to remember if you had a separate process when going into this one compared to the Boo Brothers?
No, to tell you the truth, no. I took every job like it was my first and my last. Because, you know, show business is a very tough business. And it's very demanding. And when you're lucky enough to get a part, you work on it. And so I never had, every part I ever had, I was grateful for. Let's put it that way.
Well, we're definitely grateful that, you know, you played such a huge part in my childhood, JayBee and Milly's childhood, and so many others. And we're so glad that, you know, you remained in the industry. And speaking of like childhood, you've done so many roles in some of the classic Hanna Barbera projects, ranging from Goober and the Ghost Chasers, the Flintstone Kids, and the Jetsons movie, and so much more. So do you happen to have a favorite story from working on any of those cartoons?
I'm trying to think. Not really. I enjoyed every show you mentioned just now. I remember, oh yeah, that fond memories. So, you know, when people come up and say, I saw you on Wait Till Your Father Comes Home and you were great. And I think, well, thank you. It brings back great memories. I didn't have a real big favorite. I loved it all and still do. I'm semi-retired, but the voice hasn't changed. So as long as they don't see me, I can do voiceovers forever.
It's just amazing. Like, it's bringing back so many memories from like just the amount of times that we must have heard your voice, sometimes knowing that it's your voice, other times it's kind of like subliminally ingrained into us. But I guess in terms of your career, because it is such a long and amazing career, do you have any like highlight moments from anything that you've done at all, be it, you know, comedy on stage or an acting role?
That's a good question. I never thought about that. I probably, one of the highlights was a series I did. I don't know if I don't think it played in England. Gomer Pyle, USMC, was about a United States Marine, and I played his best friend, Duke. and that was 7 years. So I enjoyed that, knowing that it wouldn't be canceled year to year. And I did a couple of movies I did that were highlighted. I did a movie called The Cat from Outer Space, a Disney movie. And I played the voice of the cat, Jake the cat. That was originally going to be a voiceover. And what happened was they decided to go with me as the cat because they had the cat there. And so they hired a guy, well, it was me, to do the voice temporarily. And they said, we'll cast somebody later. And at the end of, I think it was 14 weeks, they said, why should we hire somebody else? You're doing a great job. So I got the voice of the cat.
Wow.
And if you ever see that movie, I play the role of a sergeant in the Army in the movie. But the kids were so, the young kids were so afraid that they'd hear me and say, that's the voice of the cat. So in the movie, that's not my voice. That's somebody else's. They put somebody else's voice. So when I'm talking like this, it's a different voice. But I was Jake the cat. I like that.
Well, that's surprising, but it's cool how you can do like such a variety of roles, as you say, from an animal to an army sergeant, like just so much. It's just incredible. And it always, even though we've like done quite a lot of these now, it never fails to blow my mind. And I'm always just so like I admire like I guess you so much. And in terms of a lot of our audience, it's surprising that a lot of them are aspiring actors or aspiring comedians. So I guess if you could impart any advice upon any aspiring actors watching this, like would you have any advice to give there?
Don't give up. Don't give up. If you get a chance and it backfires and you don't get the role, don't let that discourage you, because that's what this business is. A lot of you guys know that. You get a lot of chances, and majority of the chances you don't get. So if you don't get a role, just keep working at it, and something will come up. Pretty soon you'll be back working again.
And that really is some incredible advice. And I mean, kind of looking on to future projects that you're doing, because you've had an incredible career and to this day you still do some amazing work. So can I ask, is there any upcoming projects that you have at the moment that you can share?
I have a couple. Unfortunately, they're always all in the United States. I'm making personal appearances doing my comedy act. I was in Cincinnati, Ohio 2 weeks ago, where I did 2 concerts, comedy concerts. I'm on for about an hour, and I was very lucky. I got 2 standing ovations, which shows I've still got something. But I'm trying to think. That's nothing international right now is coming up, but I'll keep at it. You guys will see me over there someday.
I mean, well, luckily I'd say at least 50% of our audience do tend to be from America. So in regards to projects that you do have upcoming and all that kind of thing, is there a place where people can best keep up to date with your work?
Yes, my agent here can tell you. He'll tell you how I can connect.
Yeah, facebook.com/The Real Ronnie Schell.
Perfect. Okay, we'll put that in the description below. So for anybody that would like to keep up to date with your work, see what projects you've got upcoming next and all that kind of thing, we'll make sure the link's there. They just need to click on that and they can see everything that's going on for the future.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I guess that is time for the day. I guess just one last time, thank you so much for coming on today and giving your time. It's an honor.
Extreme pleasure.
Thank you so much. So I
Let's
guess
do it again sometime.
oh, that would be absolutely incredible. And the best of luck with everything that you're doing. And we hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you so much to everyone that's watching this.
Are you guys, what part of the business do you guys want to do or are doing? Voiceovers, on camera, directing, producing?
So ours primarily is in terms of, hosting and presenting, but with Rhianna, I guess, Rhianna, you can say you're currently training to be an actor.
Yeah, I'm currently training to be an on-screen and voiceover actor along with WWE commentary.
Well, keep at it. And like I said, don't give up if you get a few rejects.
I won't. Thank you.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoy. Thank you to you and your amazing agent for setting this up. It's been incredible. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
When I get over to Jolly Old.
Oh, just get an umbrella. So yeah, thank you so much for witnessing another interview on the JayBee and Milly channel. You can find all of Rhianna's social links. This isn't Rhianna. I'm putting all of Rhianna's social links in the description down below, along with our link tree. So if you do want to see that and so much more, then please like, comment, and subscribe. JayBee and Milly.